Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special joint meeting with the Abington School Committee, Abington Board of Selectmen, June 16, 2012. Would you kindly stand and join us in saluting the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public announcements, Alex.
I have two public announcements, if I could, please. Again, I'm announcing the opiate organizational meeting for opiate addiction. We're doing right here in this room next Tuesday night, July 23rd. It's open to everybody. We're looking for everybody's input. We're going to have, I'm co-hosting this with Representative Jeff Deal. Senator John Keenan will be there. Sheriff Joe McDonald, either the DA or someone from Cruz's office, someone from Congressman Lynch's office will be there. We've got some pretty good, we've got some great speakers and some pretty good momentum going, and hopefully we can get a forum, a coalition going like many of the other cities and towns around the state are doing. So I hope everyone can come by here next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, the 23rd. My other announcement is my charity, the Hug Foundation, their third annual celebrity softball tournament will be held at the girls softball field here in Abington on July 11th from 9 to 3. We have 10 teams that play and lots of celebrities, and it's free for all spectators. There's no admission fee. You can come down, you can meet the celebrities, get autographs, get pictures. There'll be several Bruins alumni, Joe Ligotti, the WMEX morning guy, Dave Russo, comedian, Joey Voices, Nicole Jacobs from WBZ, and probably 10 Bruins alumni and other celebrities. So again, it's free. There'll be some small games to play for kids, and it's a great day. If you haven't been there, you should really come by. This is our third year doing it. So again, that's July 11th. It starts at 9 o'clock from 9 to 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Any other members have any? Kenny?
You'll be there on July 11th signing autographs, right?
If anybody wants my autograph.
I just, I don't really have any event coming up. I just want to touch upon last weekend's. I hope everybody got a chance to make it up to Island Grove for our first annual Flag Day weekend. It was a great time. We hope to do it again next year. A lot of exciting events, and kudos to Doug Elwick and Nancy Reed and all the people that put that together. So it was a lot of fun, and I heard you gave a speech and did a good job. So thank you.
Okay. Okay.
We have to go into session first.
Okay, yes, please.
So we're going to go into session, the Abington School Committee, for a special meeting, joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen for the purpose of filling 2 vacant seats on our school committee.
Okay, thank you. One second. Can everybody hear all right? All right, fine. Tonight, let me just review a little bit, and then we're going to talk about how the procedure we're going to vote. Fortunately, we have 3 very well-qualified candidates that have applied for 2 positions on this open positions on the school committee because of resignations. Whoever is appointed tonight will have to run next year regardless for one of the 2 seats. So it became a little bit of a dilemma for Ellen and I. We spoke about it a couple times as to whether it should have been posted applying for the 1-year position or the 2-year position. And ultimately, when Ellen and I talked to town council, she said it really, quite frankly, didn't matter, that there was 2 open seats, and she made a suggestion on how we would conduct the voting. And I agree with it, and I think, Ellen, you do too, that we would do it by, first, the Board of Selectmen would make a recommendation for 1 candidate, and that would be voted on. Majority vote would win. So if there's 8 members and it was 5 to 3, that person would get it. You can vote no, and if it's an abstention, the vote doesn't count. Is that clear to everybody? So if that particular candidate didn't pass, the next nomination would come from the school committee. And the school committee would nominate a candidate, and then would vote on that. And obviously something would have to happen in the interim. But my suggestion would be, if the first candidate does pass, then the school committee would, she never really explained it, but I think it would be fair to allow the school committee to make the next nomination. So is that clear to everybody?
And could we, if they nominated one of the two, can we nominate?
We're only gonna go operate on one nomination at a time. It does not require a second. It'll just become one nomination. And, I mean, there was a talk of basically we're representing the voters in the town of Abington right now. And my initial thought was if you went into the ballot box and you had 3 people running for 2 seats, that you'd vote for 2. So each member would have to vote for 2. And I think this is a fair way what town council has recommended, and I think that Ellen and I agree with that's what we'd like to do, so.
But you can only vote for 2.
You can only vote for 2.
Right, okay.
Right.
So
You're not gonna vote for 2 right out of the box.
No, but I mean is,
No, you could vote for 3. If a candidate did not receive a majority vote, then the third candidate would become viable. Doesn't, you know what I mean? It just.
So you could vote for one who wasn't successful, and then for the next 2 who were successful.
So it's a nomination, and then each person votes, and whoever receives the
Right.
majority of the vote, that person receives at least 4 votes, then.
So you're technically gonna
Selected.
have to either vote for or against.
right, but you can only vote in the affirmative twice.
No.
Okay.
I think you
Completely
could.
separate votes.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
The separate motion, separate votes.
Separate motions each time,
But
and whoever
only
gets the
one
majority.
person can be nominated
Correct.
at each vote.
Is everybody in agreement with that? Because I don't want to get in the middle of it and then have, and I do have the opinion here if anybody
Yeah.
wants to read it. Okay. All right? Yep. So as far as the candidates go, I'd like to do, again, in agreement with the chair, because it's our meeting, I want everybody here is equal, is allow the candidates to come up, tell us a little bit about themselves, maybe an open statement, and answer questions from the committee. And I would ask the committee to ask the same question to each candidate. Yes, Kenny?
Is there one candidate that's not here?
I was just
That's
gonna
correct.
speak
So we
on
can't
that.
ask that person the questions?
Not very well.
Okay.
He did, Mr. Manning did send a letter, I think you were gonna read it. Invitation.
Yeah, and he had previous travel plans, that's why he couldn't be here.
Yeah, no,
so, yep. Yep.
it's been a task to get everybody on the same page in this. And, you know, fortunately, we get it done tonight, because if we go beyond tonight, we have to repost it by the charter, and then you get into summertime, and it becomes a lot harder to get everybody on the, on the same page, so. All right, so we have Wendy Happel, Jeanette Cummings, and Robert Manning, who isn't here. So I'd ask Wendy to please take the podium if you want to go first and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me here tonight and for having this joint meeting to appoint 2 new school committee members. I just want to let you know a little bit about me. My name's Wendy Happel. I live at 40 Adams Street. I am a mom to a little girl. Her name's Caitlin. She's 9 years old. She's going into Beaver Brook's 4th grade next year. I'm married to my husband for the past 11 years. He's a union sheet metal worker. I work as an office manager for a real estate appraisal company for the past 15 years. I've worked there. I was a real estate appraiser for 5 years. I'm involved in our community. I've volunteered as a Girl Scout leader for going into my 5th year. I have 14 girls in my troop. I really enjoy it, and I enjoy being with my daughter and her fellow scouts. And I'm also the Girl Scout Service Unit Secretary and co-organizer. And I've helped at countless PTO meetings, events at my daughter's school. And I've also been a youth softball coach. Over the past 3 years, I've been assisting residents at a senior housing complex in Quincy with ride shopping and cooking. I've been wanting to be on the school committee for a little while now. I was actually a candidate in the last election, and so I'd really like to be on the committee. And if you guys have any questions, do I answer that now, or?
I would prefer, to be fair to everybody, if Jeanette made her opening statement, and then we'd alternate questions so that nobody would have an advantage. So we don't ask all the questions, you would ask half the questions to you and half the questions to Jeanette. So is that all right for the committee? All right. Jeanette, would you like to, please? Thank you, Wendy.
Hello, my name is Jeanette Cummings-Leary. I'm a resident of Abington. My husband and I have 2 sons. We have a soon-to-be high school senior and a soon-to-be high school freshman. I am very involved in our community. I have sat on the school committee in the past years. I've also been the past chair. I am involved in our church. I've been a First Communion CCD teacher for St. Bridget's for over 8 years, a youth soccer coach. I'm currently sitting on the Abington School Building Committee, which continues to meet weekly for our new school building that will open soon. My professional background is I'm an educator, administration educator. I've been both classroom teacher and a administrator for over 25 years. I've worked both in the public schools and also in the private sector. So, and I thank you for this opportunity to hopefully get back on the school committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Okay.
And then,
Yes.
I have a letter from Bob Manning, actually, 2 communications from Bob. First of all is his letter of interest. Since he couldn't be here, I think it's only fair that we include his letter. He writes, "I'm interested in accepting an appointment to the Abington School Committee for one of the 2 possible current openings. I'm currently employed with the Massachusetts Department of Revenue and serving in my 30th year of state service. My current position is as the project manager of the front-end service team, which is in charge of daily electronic deposits of monies collected by the department. I've also served as supervisor of other information technology teams, as well as collection teams and seizure teams. I have been a test lead for 14 years and hold a training certificate for the training of staff in the department. I have done night school training for taxation for continuing education credits. I have served on the Abington Board of Health for 6 years, having been named chairman for 4 of those 6 years. I served in the St. Bridget's School Committee for 11 years and was active in the Center School for 3 years. I continue to serve the parish of St. Bridget's on the financial board for over 15 years. I've educated my children in both private and public schools and supported a child on a special education plan. I was a Boy Scout leader for our local troops and served for over 10 years. I support our local soccer program, participating in both coaching and directing the program for over 11 years. I would appreciate your consideration to be appointed to the Abington School Committee and would accept a 1-year position." He did, when the meeting date was scheduled, he did send an email to Dory. "Thank you for your call the other day. As I said then, I will be out of town starting today," which was last Friday, "until next Friday. I am interested in serving on the school committee and would be happy to accept an appointment if the boards choose to select me." And he gives his cell phone number if there are any questions.
Thank you. Just so you know, we can't conduct an interview over the cell phone, so just to be fair.
Just relaying what was in the message.
No, I agree. Okay, so the first question would go to Wendy, and if a member of the Board of Selectmen has a question, I have a couple, but do you have questions?
Same question I always ask in this sort of situation, yes. If Wendy and Jeanette, if you're appointed, would you run for the position in April, or are you just looking to
Yes.
fill it until the
Yes.
April?
I was thinking about going for like water commission or something, but I think I'm gonna stick with what I like, and that's the schools and the kids, so.
Thank you.
Jeanette, if you would mind, if you would answer that question, and you'll be on board for the next one, so you might as well stay there, please.
Yes, I would have the intention to rerun in April if I was appointed.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a question from a member of the school committee?
I have a question.
Sure.
Should the district start to become less reliable on the Greenway boosters to provide 100% funding of all sub-varsity athletics at the high school, what would your approach be and why?
Should we, or
Should we start eliminating the funding that the boosters provide and having our actually the school budget provide the funding for sub-varsity sports?
I think in the perfect world, the answer would be yes. Unfortunately, the perfect world doesn't exist, and I think it would be a shame for us to not accept the generous booster donation year after year that many people work very hard at contributing so that all of our students in all grades, not just the students that make the varsity teams, are able to participate. It's unfortunate, but there isn't enough money in our budget to do everything we want to do. And I think we're very fortunate that we have a dedicated group of residents, parents, and parents that have children that have graduated that continue to support the boosters, and who are the boosters that make sub-varsity sports available for all of our students. Not only sub-varsity, but they continue just this past year. They added 2 more teams to the roster at the high school that weren't available, and those coaches' stipends and the equipment and the uniforms all came from boosters. So it would be an ideal situation if we had the funds to fund all programs, not just sub-varsity sports, but all programs we need for our students. But it's unrealistic, and I think we should be very grateful that we do have a supportive entity like the boosters to help our students.
Thank you, Jeanette. Wendy?
I agree with Jeanette. My daughter's a cheerleader, so we're very lucky that the boosters paid for all the cheerleaders' uniforms this year, and I've contributed to the mini wave boosters. So, I mean, there isn't enough money in the budget from my understanding, so I absolutely agree. I mean, in the perfect world, it would be great to have all the money just come from the schools. That's how it was when I was in school. We didn't, as far as I know, we didn't have boosters, and our parents didn't have to pay. So, but we have the boosters, so I guess thank goodness for them. Right?
Thank you. Why don't you just stay right there, Wendy, please? Anybody? I have a question.
Go ahead. No, you already asked.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. There was a lot of interest and a lot of debate on the last issues on Common Core, and so what other issues, Common Core, and there was a couple other federal mandates that were coming down. But what other issues would you like to see besides those? What other issues do you think is facing the Abington school system?
Well, as far as the class sizes, that's important to me, to see if we can get them down a little bit, or at least try to maybe have, at least in the elementary school, the kids are all mixed in class, so maybe if we can't get the classes down a little bit, to have some kids in different classes. The kids that are very smart, maybe, all of them in one class, and then the kids that need extra help, maybe that would help a little bit. A couple other things that I think, to me, are a little bit important is, I don't know a lot about the high school and what you guys do, but I would like to maybe see if we can save some money by not having so many substitutes in high school. I don't know if that would work. Where I went to school, it worked. We actually had, we didn't have any substitutes if our teacher wasn't there, so it saved a lot of money. It was kind of like an open class. We either went to the library or stayed in the school, but we were able to do other things. I think, too, getting more parents involved is really important. I don't see them really going through the website, maybe having polling. I don't know if that would work at all, but that was one of my ideas, right before maybe a school committee meeting or during it, do a poll, have it set up on Facebook or something, and see how many people we could get to get involved in some of the things that are happening. So, good. Do you want more?
Okay. Thank you. Jeanette, do you need to have the question repeated?
Yes. I think big picture, we need to be very cognizant not only of things state mandated, Common Core, PAC, MCAS, wherever we head, there are certain parameters that we're going to have to accept and really do what's best for the students of Abington. Locally, for ourselves, I think we need to take a large picture scale and make sure that as we move into this new school that we're fiscally managing our money appropriately, because the new school will be costing different than our current school. So we need to be making sure we're going into this with our eyes wide open, with a fiscal responsibility that allows us to continue to offer programs and to enhance the programs that our students are now offered. because we read in the papers a lot of communities that have built the new schools are now running into situations that it's creating financial difficulties for them. And I think we need to be aware of that, as I think that's our large hurdle to attend to in the next near future.
Thank you. Jeanette, you might, any member of the school committee?
Basically, this is a hard question for me to ask you, because I know you've been on the school committee, so this might be kind of unfair. But our job, basically there are four components to the job of the school committee person. We approve the budget, we evaluate the superintendent, we develop policy, and we're involved in collective bargaining. Those are basically the responsibilities that have been given to us as a school committee. And my question is, how does your background fit with the responsibilities that we have?
Being a past school committee member and the chair, I think I have a lot of experience in that. I also manage an educational environment with a $750,000 budget. I'm very financially adept at doing what needs to be done. I've also worked in doing that with hiring and parameters of such, and policy making also. Having been on the school committee, I have a lot of experience with that.
I've been on the school committee, so I don't have that much experience, but I'm definitely willing to learn. And I think I'm a fast learner. I work well with others. I've been in the appraisal field for a long time, so I know that that's probably one of the powers and duties from what I read for the school committee. As far as budgets, I manage my house. I manage a Girl Scout troop of 14 to do things throughout the year. As far as community relations, I definitely have been involved in the community, and I have a school committee Facebook page with over 200 followers. I try to, relate to them as much as possible and talk to them about what's going on and communicate. Can you repeat a couple of those?
Four big responsibilities: budget, superintendent's evaluation, policy development, and collective bargaining.
Well, the policy development, that's something that I definitely like to look more into, and I think I actually said, one of those issues that I'd like to maybe see if we can have happen was maybe giving our high school students a little more, not leeway, but, they're going to be 16, 17, 18 years old, so, maybe if we didn't have to spend so much money on, some teachers, not teachers, but substitute teachers, that maybe it would help a little bit in the budget. So, there's just, I think I have some ideas. I'd like to work with you guys and talk to you about them and see how y'all feel about them, and, same with the superintendent. As far as, I think he does a great job, but I'm not right there with you guys, so I don't know exactly what y'all deal with every day.
Okay, thank you. You have a question?
I have one more question.
I guess, Wendy, you stay right there, please.
Sorry. How important is it for school committee members to attend out-of-classroom school district events? For example, music concerts at the elementary school level, fifth grade Jeopardy event, athletic contests at the high school, and why?
I think it's really important. I would love to do it. I think it's exciting. I try to attend as much as I can for my Girl Scouts. If, I knew that I could go to half of these things, I would probably do it myself. So I think it's I think it's great to attend anything that we can that's going on for our students and our kids. I go to everything that I can, so.
Thank you.
Jeanette, please.
Do you want me to reread, or?
Sure.
With my glasses back on. How important is it for school committee members to attend out-of-classroom school district events, for example, music concerts, the fifth grade Jeopardy event, athletic contests, and why?
I think it's important for all community members to be involved in the community, whether you're on a committee per se or not. I think it's important for an elected committee to be present if there are people in the community that you would never bump into, but that may have a question and you may seem more approachable. But I also think it's fair to understand that any committee member has typically other responsibilities also, and that to be respectful of being able to balance work life and your own family with your responsibilities that you're giving of yourself to the community.
Thank you, Jeanette. Okay. I guess, Jeanette, if you'd stay up there, please.
Besides the obvious fact that there's going to be a new high school, I mean, what would you do to entice Abington youth to not go to public school, private schools after, graduating junior high, have them to stay in Abington, at Abington High School?
I think historically, if you look at the data, the new high school is going to be the thing that helps us the greatest. The trend is that you do have not only students that choose not to go, but you have students that have gone that choose to return. I think in saying that, the reason being not only because your building's big, bright, and shiny, but that you're able to offer more within the building. Your infrastructure is better. Your IT systems are better. Your everything, the everyday life of the school is better, and therefore it's offering an environment that is more conducive to a positive learning experience, and families, not only parents, but students will want to experience that.
I agree with Jeanette, actually. And to be honest with you, I never met so many people that sent their kids to private schools until I moved to Abington. I was an Army brat. I was in 7 different elementary schools and middle schools, and I didn't have any friends that went to private school. Everybody I always knew growing up went to public school. So, and then when I came here, I just heard more and more people that, kids go to St. Bridget's or go to other schools, and I don't know why, to be honest with you. I've heard different stories about the schools. I don't know if it's more of the high school, the lack of offerings, but, that's why, like I had said before, during the debate that we had, maybe offering a little bit more, like different types of classes. I'm not exactly sure what the high school offers. I've been to schools that, have vocational schools. So they offered, banking and cooking and improvisational classes. And I don't really know what you guys have to offer, but I would love to learn. I would love to see it. I would love to go to, I don't know if you guys go to other schools in other towns and see what they have, but that was something that I would consider doing so that we can see, what are they doing right that maybe Abington isn't doing so right.
Thank you, Wendy. Any other questions? School committee? No. Okay. Before we get ready to make nominations, is there any questions about the process we're about to use? Any questions from the candidates? And I just want to speak, not just for me, but I think I'm speaking for the Board of Selectmen and the school committee. We have 3 very well-qualified candidates. It's a very difficult position to, whatever we choose tonight, and we're choosing in our minds what we think is best for the town, we can't miss, because I think, obviously by the way you conducted yourselves here tonight and answered the questions. We all know Bob Manning and, his attributes and how well he served the town also. So I'd just like you to know this is a very difficult position for me. I've always detested sitting in this position and trying to publicly vote one way or the other for a person. So having said that, I would accept nominations. Mrs. Burbank?
Nominate Jeanette Valenzuela.
Mr. Burbank nominates Jeanette. Alex, I guess we'd vote yes or no.
Do you need a second, though, for the nomination? Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I vote yes.
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 So obviously, what is that, 7 to 1?
6.
6 to 1. So Jeanette has been appointed to the school committee seats. Congratulations. The next nomination would come from the school committee.
I'd like to nominate Bob Manning.
Okay. Why don't you pull your membership?
So
Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
No.
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 No. Next nomination comes from
I'll nominate Wendy Happel.
nomination for Wendy Happel. Alex?
Yes.
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 No.
No.
4-3, Wendy, you are awarded the seat on the school committee. Congratulations. And I guess unless there's any further questions, I'd accept a motion to adjourn.
I'd just like to make one comment that it's unfortunate that Bob wasn't here, to
Yes.
participate, and that it's tough. I know the meeting got changed a lot, and, that's not an excuse, and I don't know what happened, but, it just kind of stinks that we didn't get to hear all the review, points of view, that's all.
It does, and there was a lot of effort made. I mean, we tried to meet before town meeting, we offered to meet after, later in our hours, things, and then whatever happened, between that, it was quite a process. I'm gonna make a suggestion to both these, if we ever have to post, open positions for any board, school committee, whatever, that in that posting, we include, the meeting date between both chairs at the time of the posting, so going into this,
Right.
that what exactly is gonna happen.
We-
That
we-
you're gonna
your
go for
schedule.
water commission, you're gonna go for school committee, or whatever it is, that we're gonna have
Meeting
the
will be
date
held
and the
on the
time, and we could, between the chairs, we could iron that out and just make sure.
Before
that
the
it's
meeting.
posted. Yeah. So that's a good idea.
Can you also mention Mrs. Jansen's not here? Can you also mention that you don't have Mrs. Jansen here?
Maureen.
Oh,
Maureen.
yes, Maureen was also one of them. I'm sorry.
Yep,
Thank
that's
you.
okay.
Thank you for that. So if not, if there's any further business, make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to close.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
For a motion for the school committee to adjourn? Second, all set?
Okay. Thank you for that.